Hello guys, this is Marian from Language Studio Euphema, and today we are going to talk about differences between do and make. So, do and make both can be translated as robiť in Slovak. However, we can't really follow translation here. A translation is not very helpful in this case. So let's talk more about differences. We use do when we talk about doing an activity, and this is very, very important to remember. Doing an activity. So in this case, we don't create anything new. We don't create a new product or something. We're just doers of an activity. And we have make, and we use make when we talk about creating something new, on the other hand. So, for example, when we create something that didn't exist before, and we made it, we created it. Oh, here's one example for you, and let's see whether you can see the difference. What are you doing? A person may ask. And your answer? I'm making a cake. What are you making? Answer? A cake. So let's analyze it a little bit. So the question was, what are you doing? And of course, this question was asking, which activity are you engaging in? That's why we use doing in this question. The answer was, I'm making a cake. It means I'm producing a cake. I'm creating it. And again, the question that followed was, what are you making? Oh, making, it's as if somebody asked, what are you producing? What are you creating? And the answer was a cake, because that's your final product. Now let's take a look at more examples, shall we? It's going to be only translation, so all I want you to do now is to translate the Slovak expression into English. So first I'm going to introduce some examples with do. This is a Slovak expression. We have housework here. We don't produce anything new. We merely do the housework. Homework. We don't create homework. Our teachers create homework. We just do homework. Experiment. We perform it. We do it. Business. We do business. Do the paperwork. Or do your work, do your job. Okay, now let's continue with make. And here, as you can see, we have also the Slovak translation, we have also robiť here, but now we create the lunch here. So the lunch is the outcome of our activity. That's why we say make lunch. And we also create noise, so we say make a noise. And we fabricate a mistake. We also create a mistake. That's why we say make a mistake. Okay, make a decision. This one is a little bit more disputable. Some people can question it. Okay, but I'm not creating anything new. Of course, yeah, decision is a little bit abstract, but you still created. It didn't exist before. And with your mental activity, you created it. You conceived, you came to a decision, so you make a decision. Yeah, for example, a shopping list, you have to make it, you have to create it. Make a list. And as well here, the make an offer. You made it, and now it is real, now it's here. So you make an offer. You make an offer for your customer, for example. And I have a couple of more examples prepared here. In a company, for example, in a business English, you would say that you make profit or you make loss. Children, in particular, they make a mess. And if you are a principled person, even a principled person makes an exception. Then this is make friends. So you create these new friendships. They didn't exist before, and you make them. Make progress. Make time. Now tell me, would you use do or make with the following words? Make profit, of course. Next one. We said it was make an exception, create an exception. Very good. Do paperwork. You do your work. Next one. You do housework, yes. Phone call. Yeah, this is a make a phone call because the phone call didn't exist before and you created it. So that's why we say make a phone call. Mistake? Make a mistake, of course. Do business. We do it. We perform it. Yes, we don't create anything new. We just perform it. Make an excuse. Yes. Children especially do their homework. Yeah, you make dinner because it didn't exist before and you make it and then you eat it. So what you eat, the food, is the result of your activity. It's a product that you produce. You make friends. Yoga. And you do yoga. With all sports, you do sports. You don't make sports. You do them. So the same thing here. You do yoga. So now I'm going to ask a couple of questions. We are going to add some more context to it. And it's going to be like a little conversation. What I want you to do is to answer the questions when you are invited to. When I tell you to answer it, please answer it for yourself. It will be great if you can do it out loud, not silently. So here we go. And now, apart from just listening to me, you can also see me. So hello, this is me behind the microphone. Now let's have a little conversation, shall we? This is the first question, and the question is your company making more or less profit? Now we have this coronavirus thingy, so people are at home, they are self-quarantining at home, and chances are their companies are making less profit. I would say that our company, if our language studio can be called a company, so our company is making much less profit now. So what about your company, if you have a company? Or if you don't have a company, so what about you as a person? Like, is your salary lower? So can we say that you are making less profit now? Brilliant. Now, the second question. Do you have to do a lot of paperwork? Sorry, I forgot to highlight it here. Do you have to do a lot of paperwork? Well, if you ask me, for example, thank God I don't have to do a lot of paperwork. So what about you? Do you have to do a lot of paperwork? Also, take into account how I pronounce a lot of. You don't say a lot of or a lot of. It's like a one bigger word. So you say a lot of paperwork, a lot of paperwork. So I don't have to do a lot of paperwork. Do you have to do a lot of paperwork? I hope you answered, so thank you for that. Let's move on to the next one. Yeah. What excuses did you make when you didn't do your homework as a student? I have to say I was a good student. I always did my homework, maybe at primary school. At the secondary school, puberty kicked in, you know how it is, so I wasn't so conscientious anymore, but I used to do my homework like every single time when we were assigned some. So what excuses did you make when you didn't do your homework? Okay, I hope you answered here. Let's move on. Do you always make a list when you go shopping? Do you always make a shopping list? In my case, not always. I make a list very, very often, but not every single time I go to shop. When we have more things that we want to buy, so I have to make a shopping list. What about you? Do you make a list when you go shopping? Thank you for your answer. Okay, let's move on. Oh, that's an interesting question. Which housework do you often do? Well, let's see. About me, well, that's really hard. I don't like housework, to be honest with you. The only housework activity I engage myself in is cooking, I believe. But it's not fair to say that it's housework thing, because I kind of enjoy cooking. So for me, it's not like a terrible thing. But anyway, I often do cooking. And of course, as I said before, I often do shopping as well. And I do, well, that's pretty much it. That's it. What about you? Which housework do you often do? Okay, let's move on. Do you make a lot of phone calls each day? In my case, no. I make maybe 2 or 3 phone calls a day. What about you? Tell me, do you make a lot of phone calls each day? Okay, let's move on. Next one. Yeah, this is a fun one. Do you make decisions quickly? I wish I did. I don't think I do, though. I make decisions slowly, I can say. What about you? Do you make decisions quickly? Do you make decisions fast? Answer. Okay. Well, this is an interesting question here. Have you ever done yoga in your life? Have you ever done yoga in your life? No. I understand that now it's pretty popular, but I've never done it. I'd like to try it, maybe. It wouldn't kill me to try a little bit of yoga, maybe. But no, I've never done it. What about you? Have you ever done yoga in your life? Okay. I have no idea what you answered, but hopefully you answered something. And this is the last question for us here. So, do you make friends easily? What I'd like to say here as well, the translations and rules are not 100% bulletproof, so you can't rely on translations. Before I said that make and do can be translated as robiť, but I have to also warn you in this presentation, in this video, and also in the videos to come, that you shouldn't rely too much on translation, and also it applies to grammatical rules, because you know, in learning English, as you may know, there are a lot of exceptions, and of course not only in English, in every single language, even in the Slovak, there are so many exceptions that you wouldn't believe. And these exceptions cannot be translated easily, and you can't really apply, obviously, you can't apply any rules here. So these examples I have just given to you, they are a good stepping stone for you to become a better EFL learner. But what you have to do now is practice and practice and practice. Try to talk to yourself as well. For example, when you go to work or when you do some activity, for example, you're in your kitchen and you're cooking, so you can tell to yourself, okay, now I am cooking. It means I am doing cooking. Or then you can say like, hopefully I won't make a mistake, because it would be a catastrophe. Yeah, so try to talk to yourself, try to use the word. You have to push yourself into using the words. So thank you very much for watching this video. I hope it helped you a little bit. And also, what I would like to say that please come back to this video. Don't only look at it once and then leave it be. Practice makes perfect, they say. So just please come back, go through this video again, learn at least these words. They are a good starting point for you, and hopefully this presentation helped you. This has been Marian from Language Studio Eufema, and see you later. Bye bye.